Imagine a world where the very idea of stopping at a gas station, or even plugging into a charging station, feels as outdated as winding up a pocket watch. Imagine stepping into a car that seems to whisper to the laws of physics themselves, bending them just enough to make the impossible possible. That world isn't science fiction anymore. It's unfolding in Africa, and at the center of it all is one man, Maxwell Chikumbutso. His creation, a self-powered electric vehicle, isn't just a car, it's a statement, a challenge, and for many in Silicon Valley and Detroit, a shock that rattles the very core of their billion-dollar industries. Now, if you're wondering why this has American engineers scratching their heads, or why the name Tesla suddenly seems less invincible than it once did, then you're in the right place. Because Maxwell's invention isn't just another electric car with a bigger battery or faster charging. No. This is a car that doesn't need charging at all. That single detail has shaken the foundations of the EV industry, sending shockwaves through the American engineering community that prides itself on being at the cutting edge of innovation. How could someone working in a modest workshop in Zimbabwe achieve what the giants of Silicon Valley and Detroit have failed to deliver? To answer that, we need to go back to the beginning. Maxwell wasn't born into privilege. He wasn't sitting on billions in venture capital. He was, by all accounts, an ordinary man driven by an extraordinary curiosity. While the rest of the world debated climate change policies and carbon footprints, Maxwell was tinkering away with machines, wires, and concepts that most people dismissed as pipe dreams. And in the shadows of doubt, in the silence of relentless experimentation, something revolutionary took form. The car he unveiled isn't powered by traditional fuel, nor does it rely on the same lithium-ion battery packs that Tesla and other electric car companies worship like sacred idols. Instead, Maxwell's design integrates a system he calls self-powered technology, capable of generating continuous energy to sustain the vehicle's motion indefinitely. To the average driver, that means one thing: no charging stations, no fuel stops, no running out of power in the middle of nowhere. Just drive. Now, to skeptics, this immediately raises red flags. Perpetual motion machine. They laugh.
D'était-ce impossible?
And they're right, at least in theory. Physics tells us energy cannot be created or destroyed. Yet here stands Maxwell with a car that defies the logic we've grown up trusting. American engineers, trained in the strict frameworks of physics and mechanical engineering, find themselves puzzled. Tesla's engineers, who once boasted that their innovations were decades ahead of competitors, suddenly face a question they can't easily dismiss. What if Maxwell is right? The unveiling of the vehicle was modest compared to Tesla's flashy launches. No giant screens, no robotic arms lowering a car from the ceiling, no billionaire in a leather jacket making bold promises on stage. Instead, a simple demonstration. The car rolled forward. Then it kept going. No cables connected. No charging stops. It just went. At first, many thought it was a gimmick.
A publicity stunt.
Maybe the car had hidden batteries? Maybe it was secretly being charged wirelessly? But as independent observers and even skeptical engineers got closer, they realized this wasn't smoke and mirrors.
Something real was happening.
And that's when the story shifted. The murmurs reached the ears of American engineers. The reactions ranged from disbelief to outright panic. Imagine spending decades perfecting battery technology, pouring billions into research, building factories across continents, only for someone in Africa, with a fraction of the resources, to casually reveal a machine that bypasses the very problem you've been trying to solve. For Tesla, this was more than just a challenge. It was a humiliation. Elon Musk had positioned Tesla as the savior of clean energy transportation. He had promised the world that his gigafactories would revolutionize the planet's transition to sustainable energy. And yet, here was Maxwell's self-powered EV saying, "Thanks, but no thanks. We don't need your batteries." The American engineers who saw the first tests were left scratching their heads. Some whispered that Maxwell had found a way to harness electromagnetic fields in ways they hadn't thought possible. Others speculated about hidden generators, advanced capacitors, or exotic technologies kept secret from the public. But the truth remained elusive. Whatever the method, the results were undeniable. The car worked. And this brings us to the emotional core of the story. It's not just about technology, it's about pride. For decades, the narrative has been clear: America leads, the world follows. Silicon Valley innovates, and everyone else tries to catch up. But with Maxwell's car, the script flipped. Suddenly, an African inventor stood at the center of a technological breakthrough that left American giants scrambling for answers. The backlash was immediate. Critics flooded online forums, shouting fake news and scam.
Engineer demandait scientific proof.
Media outlets hesitated, fearing they might damage their reputations if the story turned out false. But even in the storm of doubt, videos of the self-powered EV kept circulating. Ordinary people didn't need a physics degree to understand what they saw. The car moved, without fuel, without charging. That was enough to ignite imaginations worldwide. And in America, behind closed doors, you can imagine the conversations. Tesla engineers poring over every detail they could find, trying to reverse engineer a technology they didn't even fully believe existed. Government agencies asking quiet questions. Could this be weaponized? Could it disrupt oil markets? What would happen to the delicate balance of global trade if Africa suddenly became the hub of a new energy revolution? This isn't just about a car anymore. It's about power.
Économique power.
Geopolitical power. And the fact that it's emerging from Africa, not America, not Europe, not China, makes it even more disruptive. Maxwell didn't just build a self-powered EV. He cracked open a door to a future where the usual players might not be in control anymore. So what happens next? Can Tesla adapt? Can American engineers swallow their pride and learn from Maxwell's breakthrough? Or will the world witness a new wave of technological colonization, with Western corporations trying to snatch away yet another African innovation? One thing is clear: the moment that car rolled forward, the world changed. Whether skeptics like it or not, whether corporations admit it or not, the seed has been planted. And for Tesla and American engineers, the shockwaves are only just beginning.